I was diagnosed in June of 2017 as total renal failure. Started dialysis that same month, right here in Sarasota. Was in dialysis from June of 2017 until September of 2018 when I had my kidney transplant. The typical person my age who is in dialysis has a life expectancy of 5 years or less. And as we speak, there are 100,000 people who are on the list for kidney transplant, or 15,000 on that same list for liver transplant. And every day, 20 to 25 people die because they don't have a donor. They don't have a cadaver. Everyone says, I have placed my organs on a list to be donated if I happen to die. It's on our driver's license. I don't think I've met anyone who wasn't supposedly on that list. But for whatever reason, the rubber never meets the road. There are too many people who are dying needlessly because we don't have enough people who understand that it's a risk-free operation. If you donate your kidney, you're going to be just fine. Let me tell you about the person who donated their kidney to me, Doug Kaufman. Doug and I first met back in 1969 when we started language training in Monterey, California. We were studying Vietnamese. Doug went off to, after language training, Doug went off to Okinawa. I went to Vietnam, doing the same job, just different places. In 1971, April of 71, I left Vietnam and went to Okinawa to visit with some friends, including Doug and his wife, Peggy. We had dinner together April of 1971, and that was the last time that I saw Doug Kaufman face to face until July of this year. In July of this year, we met, 7 of us, went out to Monterey, California, traveled from different places in the United States, back to Monterey. We had a mini class reunion, walked around, visited the classrooms, which are still there, where we studied Vietnamese, and just generally had a good time. Doug found out about my condition while we were there in Monterey, and in typical Kaufman fashion, stepped forward and said, I would like to try to donate a kidney. And surprisingly enough, Doug's about 1.5 years older than me, and I had 7 other people attempt to donate kidneys, but for one reason or another, tissues didn't match, antibodies didn't match, they didn't have sufficient kidney function. None of them had qualified. Doug, on the other hand, at the age of 70, had kidney function of a 35-year-old. He was a perfect match for tissue, blood type, and antibodies. So it was just one of these issues that was, we say, made in heaven. He was a perfect match. And Doug flew out from Eugene, Oregon. He returned home to Eugene after the reunion in Monterey. I came back here to Sarasota, continued with my dialysis. Doug registered with Georgetown University Hospital, where I was on the list for a transplant. Flew out from Eugene, spent a week in Washington going through various tests, and was found to be a total match. The first week of September, I received a call saying, can you come out immediately for a transplant on September the 18th? And the next time I saw Doug was in Washington, D.C. on the morning of September the 13th, where we started pre-operation testing for our kidney transplant. And on the morning of September the 18th, Doug stepped forward and gave me the gift of life.